The season of the massive gaming showcases has finally arrived, and last night we were treated to the Summer Games Fest and there were quite a lot of cool announcements for your Xbox consoles. We definitely had quite a few surprises which we really weren't expecting, and some that really did blow me away, but then again there were some lackluster bits as always. However, today I will be covering the 28 brand new Xbox games that were announced, so you know which games are coming to your Xbox console very soon. As always, we did also see a couple of Xbox Game Pass mentions, so make sure to keep your eye out for that logo in the top right hand corner of the screen. With that, my name is Fletcher, this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive into these awesome looking game announcements coming our way. First up, and a very cool announcement indeed, is that Mortal Shell 2 is set to release in 2026 on both of the Xbox Series consoles. This one is actually developed by Cold Symmetry, and the trailer that we were shown gave us a wide selection of grisly combat, bloody stabs and stomps galore, and also a wide variety of ranged combat as well. As a Souls-like, we also got to feast our eyes on a spread of giant horrid creatures that'll no doubt pretty much beat us up. The original Mortal Shell was a pretty decent spin on this genre that caught the eye of some die-hard third-person action lovers, and that's due to its unique approach to both combat and character skill sets. Those interested can wishlist Mortal Shell 2 now on Xbox, and beta signups are now live for those eager enough to jump in early, but do be warned, this beta is PC only for the time being. If you're interested, we had another brief look at Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and it now launches onto Xbox on the 25th of September. The arcade racing game will feature cross-platform online multiplayer and a roster of 23 characters, not just from Sonic though. We also have several other franchises as well, like Persona, Like a Dragon, and even a crossover with Minecraft, which I was certainly not expecting to see. Pre-orders for this game are now available at multiple different retailers, with physical editions available for $70 on Xbox consoles. There is also a digital deluxe edition, which includes stuff like Season Pass and all the other extras, plus each version also offers its own bonuses for pre-ordering. Bandai Namco has finally answered the prayers of Code Vein fans. Yes, Code Vein 2 is real, and it is coming in 2026. Revealed during the show, the announcement trailer reignites the anime-infused Souls-like vibes that made the original such a cult favourite when it launched all the way back in 2019. I know so many of you have been holding out hope for a sequel to this anime action RPG for nearly 6 years now. Code Vein was interestingly never just a Souls-like game, it brought heart, style and a unique post-apocalyptic vampire world that really hooked players beyond its challenging gameplay, and now Code Vein 2 looks ready to evolve that formula. Combat seems very fluid, at least based on some first impressions, and some new abilities teased during battle sequences hint at expanded gameplay depth, and I now have this firmly on my own personal radar. End of Abyss is a top-down atmospheric action-adventure game, and it looks really good and has easily jumped into one of my most anticipated games out of this entire showcase. Of course, as I mentioned, this is an action-adventure game, but it's set in a dark sci-fi world with an emphasis on exploration, supported by engaging and tense combats. We will take on the role of a young combat technician called Cell as she uncovers the truth behind the facility's derelict areas and then confronts the monstrous creatures that roam them. Visually, it looks utterly outstanding, and one thing I did mention on stream and right away was just how much it reminds me of Little Nightmares. If you love those sort of games, then no doubt you'll be excited with me for the End of Abyss when it comes out sometime for Xbox consoles in 2026. One of the more interesting releases in the last few years was Atomic Heart, which attracted an absurd amount of attention leading up to its full release. While the finished game didn't quite match those levels of hype, it was still a fascinating action-adventure game with a fair amount of promise. Now, we finally had confirmation that Studio Munfish is taking another shot with a larger, more ambitious sequel with Atomic Heart 2. Just like the first game, Atomic Heart 2 will be an action-adventure first-person shooter, but this time further expanding on the RPG and the open-world elements. We'll of course be returning to the same alternate history, retro-futuristic dystopian world on the brink of collapse, following the tragic events of Atomic Heart. But the story this time will unfold on a global scale. There is no date for this one yet, but it's safe to assume we could see this one towards the end of 2026 or even into 2027. Alongside Atomic Heart 2, Munfish also announced a brand new MMORPG shooter called The Cube, and this one is also set within the same universe of Atomic Heart. As its name implies, it's set within a massive Leviathan structure called the Cube, the epicenter of increasingly dangerous phenomena where you and other players must dive into its secrets and survive to save humanity. As you can see, you are still getting incredibly beautiful visuals that we come to expect from this franchise, and also all of the over-the-top action and bosses that we absolutely love. What is really interesting though is that the devs have mentioned that the map will shift at all times, really looking to create some unique scenarios and uncovering areas that have not yet been explored. It seems awesome, but again, this one seems quite a way out, and we have no release date as of yet. As a brief one, Marvel fans were actually treated to another look at the beat-em-up called Marvel Cosmic Invasion, along with a look at 2 more playable characters. She-Hulk and Rocket Raccoon will join multiple other characters from the Marvel Universe, including famous heroes like Captain America, Wolverine, and even Spider-Man. This is another game from Dotemu and Tribute Games, who are also known for their excellent work on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which is also still on Xbox Game Pass. If you love these sort of side-scrolling beat-em-up games, then this one is coming to Xbox later this year. Well, Onimusha Way of the Sword continues to look like another absolute banger from Capcom. The upcoming action title got a fairly brief gameplay trailer this time around, and it did show off just a bit more combat with some monstrous new enemies, but the big news here though is that the game's going to be publicly playable later this year. Capcom's bringing a build to Gamescom which takes place in late August, and hopefully we get to see more of this in action on Xbox consoles. Meanwhile, the finished product is still set for a 2026 launch on both the Xbox Series consoles, but needless to say, we'll know a lot more about Onimusha Way of the Sword in a few months' time, and I'm pretty hyped for it. Embark Studios just dropped an Arc Raiders trailer and also its release date during the show, and I'm absolutely gutted to report to you that we're gonna have to wait even longer to dive into this world. In a move that nobody saw coming, or just kidding because tons of people actually thought something would actually happen, Arc Raiders will be released later this year on the 30th of October for both of the Xbox Series consoles. I loved my time with Arc Raiders earlier this year, and while it's heartbreaking it won't be coming any sooner, I'm actually really keen to let Embark cook, as they have been doing so well with games like the finals, and I know Arc Raiders will just be such an excellent experience upon its launch. Slated to release at some point later this year, MIO Memories in Orbit might just be the nicest looking Metroidvania that I've ever had the pleasure of laying my eyes on. Its watercolor landscapes are as beautiful as they are mesmerizing. Its rich palette of colors really brings the game's intriguing yet bewildering world to life. MIO really is releasing in a genre that's becoming so increasingly crowded, meaning developers really need to deliver something distinctive to stand out. Fortunately, MIO looks to do just that with so many previews going live after this trailer dropped, and it looks like another indie banger. A demo should now be available on the Xbox stores as well, with it launching sometime soon in 2025. Epic Games did show up quite a bit during the Summer Games Fest, but one awesome looking indie title that they did announce gives me massive Unravel vibes, and is called Out of Words. Like Unravel, this one is actually a co-op side-scrolling action-adventure game, but interestingly, you can probably even see it on screen now, it's all in a stop-motion clay aesthetic. I did do a little bit more digging into the story, and essentially the characters here have lost their mouths and the ability to speak, and must work together during their colourful journey as they engage with a variety of different challenges. As mentioned, a distinguishing feature is that all of the characters and the environments have been crafted and animated using traditional physical stop-motion animation. It looks great, and I think many couples will be interested, especially when this one lands sometime next year. We all love a good LEGO game, and we're finally getting a brand new one at that. LEGO Builder's Journey was a very welcome change into the LEGO video game series. It was a more beautiful and relaxing puzzle game featuring nothing but photorealistic LEGO bricks, unlike the action-adventure games that we've expected for years at this point. Now its creators, known as Lightbrick Studio, are launching a brand new title. It's very similar but different, with focus on the cooperative play. It's called LEGO Voyagers, and it's an adventure about friendship and play where 2 small bricks need to work together to rescue an abandoned spaceship. It looks to be a poetic, more non-verbal narrative game with beautiful creations, split screen and also online co-op, and as the case with Split Fiction, with a friend pass so 2 of you can actually enjoy it online with only 1 copy of the game. In the same vein, we also have a LEGO Party game that's coming out, and it looks exactly like Mario Party, but just LEGO-fied. LEGO Party, as it's aptly called, sees up to 4 players competing locally or online with cross-platform multiplayer. One thing that was stated is that there's going to be 60 mini-games based on different LEGO sets, including the likes of Pirates, Space and Ninjago, and there's going to be a ton of content here out the gates. There isn't much more info out in the wild at the moment, but we do know it's coming this year, and both the Xbox Series X and S version will also be getting a physical copy, which is great to see. Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny has finally been announced, an Xbox RPG of sorts from publisher Game Mill Entertainment. The brief showing we did get didn't really give an awful lot away, but from what I can gather, this is actually a top-down RPG in a similar vein to games like Diablo, only it stars Nicktoons characters such as SpongeBob SquarePants. The only other info that was actually shown was that it did have a full release window, so it's not really a million miles away. Hopefully a bit more detail is revealed about the game soon, as frankly there's not a whole lot for me to mention, but However, the Sandy Cheeks voice actor was pretty cringe at the start of this showing. Now, waiting for your favourite game or its DLC to come out is a painful one, especially when there's no release date to go off. Lies of P Overture's release date was actually a thing shrouded in mystery and questions, that is, until yesterday. Overture has now shadow dropped into our lives during the Summer Games Fest and is now ready to play on your Xbox Series consoles. Overture takes the player back in time and serves as a prequel to Lies of P, so you can expect some brand new lore, story bits, and so much more to sink your teeth into. I'm actually really excited for everyone to be able to finally play Overture and experience the new bosses, as there's a chaotic beauty to them that really does leap onto the screen. The base game for Lies of P is also on sale right now, so you can grab it if you're interested, especially if you want to play one of the better games of 2023. One thing that I really wasn't expecting was the announcement that Jurassic World Evolution 3 will be coming to both the Xbox Series consoles later this year. Specifically, Jurassic World Evolution 3 now has a release date of the 21st of October, and after enjoying my time with the first two games, I'm actually really looking forward to checking this one out. I had to do a little bit more digging to get some more details here, as the trailer really didn't show us much, but essentially this new one boasts a brand new breeding system which now allows you to house families of dinosaurs within your park. There are over 80 brand new dinosaur species in the sequel, 75 of which players can breed. The sequel also promises a brand new globetrotting campaign with maps spanning from Japan to Hawaii. If you are wanting to see some dinosaurs prior to this new entry though, Jurassic World Evolution 2 is still available right now on Xbox Game Pass. Dying Light the Beast has barged its way onto our 2025 gaming calendars, and Techland spin-off comes to Xbox in just 2 months' time. Of course, a brand new trailer has been accompanied with this announcement, which you can see on screen right now. Thus far, the beast looks absolutely stunning, with visceral and spectacular action tied to the franchise's most impressive visuals yet. I always wanted a more darker return similar in vein to the first Dying Light, and it seems we're finally getting that with a standalone entry. And also bit of news as well is that Dying Light the Beast is also going to be available at no extra cost for owners of Dying Light 2 Ultimate Edition, fulfilling the promise of a second DLC expansion for that single-player game. Annapurna Interactive dropped a big trailer for 2025, and it's for its Game Pass title known as Mixtape, which not only showed off more about the coming-of-age adventure, but also gave us a few new details about its hit-packed soundtrack. It will follow 3 friends who are set out for one final adventure on their last night together. On the way to a party, a curated playlist draws all 3 friends into a dreamlike reenactment of their formative memories, where you will essentially experience a variety of narrative vignettes exploring the pivotal moments that actually shaped them. It has always intrigued me, and I'm sure we'll probably get another trailer with a firm release date this coming Sunday at the Xbox Game Showcase. I know what you're thinking. Fletch, not another roguelike! Well, I hear you, and to be fair, Towa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree from Bandai Namco does legitimately look quite one to watch. This one has us following Towa, a priestess of Shinyu, as she stands united with 8 trustworthy companions to defeat Megatsu. Each Guardian looks to have their own abilities and sets of swords, making each combat style and Guardian pair very unique. Together, we will pave our way through some colourful lands, conquer dungeons, and then defeat Megatsu's minions. As you progress through the game though, Shinyu Village will evolve and you'll build some brand new relationships with the inhabitants that live there. Personally, I really like the Saturday morning cartoon art style, and while the isometric perspective is perhaps a little too reminiscent of games like Hades, I do reckon it'll be pretty fun. Following the 2021 release of Ubisoft's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World game, the developers of TMNT Shredder's Revenge are actually taking a crack at a brand new Scott Pilgrim game. It's called Scott Pilgrim EX and is coming in early 2026. This one though is a 4-player co-op brawler with a familiar retro look and a brand new story, where you will play as Scott, Ramona, and 5 other members of this cast as they fight demons, robots, and other enemies in a reimagined Toronto. It looks really good, and if you're a fan of these sort of games or just like the original Scott Pilgrim, then no doubt you'll enjoy this brand new entry. If there's one thing that everyone loves, it's crewing a pirate ship and causing chaos with your friends. Putting that ship into space can only improve things until you've vented into the vacuum at least. Well, revealed yesterday at the Summer Games Fest, the Sea of Thieves in Space game launches on the 22nd of July, and I'm diving into this one right away. In Wildgate, you and your crew of fellow space pirates will race rival ships to be the first to claim the artifact. It's a valuable relic that draws the galaxy's nastiest ne'er-do-wells to this treacherous sector full of life-threatening cosmic perils. That race for the relic isn't a friendly one, and you can expect some very over-the-top and fun combat scenarios. If you are interested, the Wildgate open beta kicks off on the 9th of June and will run up to the 16th of June, and it will be available for both the Xbox Series X and S consoles. Developer Team Clout really blew me away, along with many of you, with its Ill Xbox announcement. Ill is a realistic first-person action horror game that takes us into a dark fort that's overtaken by a mysterious entity. It looks to bring us a very grim story with unpredictable monsters, a visceral dismemberment system, and then realistic physics creating an atmosphere of relentless terror. According to the game's Steam page, the developers have experience working on numerous horror movies and also series, with credits on Longlegs, Until Dawn, and so many more. With Ill, it looks like they wanted to create a game that will claw its way into your consciousness and expose your true fears layer by layer. It looks awesome, and to be honest, I still can't believe the last snippet of this trailer. It's taken quite a while, but after various early access betas, Mecha Break will finally launch this July. This is a free-to-play game and did garner quite a lot of praise during its beta periods, so I know many of you are actually quite looking forward to this one. The launch of Mecha Break though will offer 3 distinct combat modes, including 3v3 deathmatch, 6 vs 6 hero shooter, or just PvPvE extraction shooter, and it will also allow you to master different classes like assault, melee, sniper reconnaissance, and more. We didn't really get a showing of much new gameplay here, but we all kind of know what to expect at this point. But again, this one comes out this July. If you're a fan of Obsidian's Grounded, then this next game will need to be on your radar. This new one actually follows a group of tiny people struggling to survive in a world that's much bigger than them, where even commonplace things like mushrooms will pose a steep obstacle. Unlike Grounded, there's a lot more than just big bugs for you to deal with here. The group of explorers that you will play as will encounter an alien civilization with some very advanced robotics, and they don't all seem very pleased to see you. This one was quite well put with one viewer in my livestream last night. It essentially looks like a Bug's Life, but if it was set 2,000 years in the future. It does look pretty intriguing, and although we really didn't get to see too much gameplay, it does seem like a promising new IP coming this year. With Wuchang Fallen Feathers' release date of July 24th fast creeping up, the developer brought an all-new trailer for this game, and it's looking mighty impressive. I think this is one Souls-like that I've always been intrigued by since the reveal due to that awesome Chinese mythology-inspired setting, and also the monster designs have always looked utterly insane. There isn't really too much to say about this one, as I have covered the game so much on the channel so far this year, and I know many of you will be excited to dive into this one as it's a day 1 Game Pass release on the 24th of July. Splitgate 2 has now officially released, leaving its open beta phase and fully launching on Xbox as of yesterday. With that, we got a brand new launch trailer that has also been released to celebrate, and it does mark a big debut of a brand new feature that was revealed, and of course, here's another Battle Royale mode. I know many of you will really groan at this one, including myself, but this one seems to have a bit of a twist to it. The Battle Royale map will comprise of 5 different maps, interconnected via portals you can hop between, which seems pretty cool. This one though supports 60 players, which are 15 teams of 4, in a typical last team standing format with only portals of course. There will also be mid-match events such as portal shutdowns, which will come into play to force teams to think on their feet. It seems pretty cool, it's certainly not for me, but I'll be keen to hear your thoughts on it down below. Back at the Game Awards last year, RGG Studio, who are known for the Yakuza and Like a Dragon games, unveiled a teaser trailer for a brand new IP known as Project Century, and now it's officially received a proper name. That name is Stranger Than Heaven. There's also a new announcement teaser trailer that I've been showing you on screen right now, and it looks pretty great so far. Details are still very scarce about this one, but we do know it will be an open world full of enemies for us to battle and then narrative choices for us to make. No release date for this one as of yet, but I will keep you updated as the new drops. Of course, the biggest announcement of the day is that Resident Evil 9 is a real thing, and we got a very brief glimpse of the next upcoming entry in this huge franchise. This one is going to feature Grace Ashcroft, FBI agent and daughter of Resident Evil Outbreak's Alyssa, as she embarks on a no doubt terrifying journey to confront her past. There are still so many questions for us to be answered here about this upcoming horror game, and we didn't really get any gameplay, but I'm sure we'll see more soon as it is releasing as early as February 2026. I know many have questions like how does Grace fit into the story so far, where on the Resident Evil timeline does Requiem take place, and also more importantly, is there really the end of the Winters family saga? We'll have to wait and see, but if you're as hyped for Resident Evil 9 as I am, make sure to subscribe and I will bring you updates as soon as they land. It wasn't part of the Summer Games Fest, but I thought it might be mentioning that Black Myth Wukong has finally been unveiled for the Xbox Series consoles, and it will be coming to both of them on the 20th of August. Of course, this is the action RPG that came out last year and kind of exploded onto the scene, and I know many of us were actually disappointed that Xbox was excluded due to the so-called technical issues with the Series S. I still feel this is somewhat of a paid exclusivity deal with PlayStation that they have in place, but the devs are still doubling down about the issues, but with it coming out exactly 12 months later to this day, is still quite intriguing to say the least. Moving on from that, it will be available to pre-order this June with a 20% discount prior to launch, so if you're happy to see this coming, Black Myth will be with us very soon. So what announcement are you excited about? Let me know down below and give me a rating of this Summer Game Showcase. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe as I bring you more Xbox news, game updates, live streams and more as we have a ton of it dropping this week. Of course, a big shout out to our channel members for your continued support here on the channel, and let's hope we get a fantastic showing at the Xbox Game Showcase this Sunday.